Welcome back to the Apply EBP channel. Eager to optimize your assessment process and reporting? We're here to provide invaluable insights, techniques, and methodologies. Let's dive into today's episode, organizing your school-based OT, PT, and speech assessment. We're sure you've heard of a top-down approach to interventions. Unlike the bottom-up approach, a top-down approach focuses primarily on the participation or occupation, rather than delving into the body function and structure level first. Similarly, assessing participation first can help streamline the assessment process, guide the selection of evaluation tools, and make reporting more meaningful. Here are the 4 reasons to assess participation first. Reason number 1. It's what children want. Research shows that kids prioritize goals that help them participate with peers in recreational activities and schoolwork. By assessing participation, we create goals that align with their intrinsic motivation, making therapy more effective and engaging. Reason number 2. The focus of your assessment becomes the focus of your intervention. What we assess naturally becomes what we intervene on. As a profession of helpers, once we identify participation challenges, we feel compelled to address them. This means our assessments often guide our interventions. The good news is that top-down interventions are usually more effective. For example, practicing handwriting directly improves legibility more than sensory-motor activities. And gait training beats leg strengthening or cycling when it comes to improving walking. Therefore, a top-down assessment that leads to top-down interventions can make us more effective therapists. Reason number 3. We can see beyond the student to find the real barriers to success. Ever had a student perform well in therapy but struggle in the classroom? Isolated testing provides a limited perspective on performance. When assessing participation, we broaden our perspective to identify environmental barriers to participation. Addressing these barriers often leads to immediate improvements in participation, such as rearranging the classroom layout, changing furniture, fostering inclusive attitudes among adults and peers, and using visual aids to deliver instructions. Reason number 4. You can avoid the rabbit hole of contradicting test results. A common dilemma arises when clinical assessments conflict with real-world performance. Say, you tested using body function and structure tools such as the BOT or the DTVP and found low scores. However, the student is functioning well in the classroom. You did not recommend services, but the family is concerned with the below-average scores. Sounds familiar? By assessing participation first, you can avoid trying to explain your way out of this rabbit hole of contradiction. This approach also helps you select more relevant additional tests and provide a more coherent explanation of your findings. Now that we know the why, let's talk about the how. Here are 3 easy steps to organizing your assessment. Step 1. Begin with participation assessment to identify any restrictions. Step 2. Select additional tests only if they help explain the participation restrictions identified in Step 1. For example, if Step 1 reveals that challenges in classroom participation are likely due to motor difficulties rather than sensory issues, then use a motor test rather than a sensory test. Similarly, if Step 1 shows no participation restrictions, there is no need to administer tests that assess body functions and structures, such as the VMI, SPM, or BOT. Since the student is already participating effectively, scores from these tests hold little relevance. On a philosophical note, we all have strengths and weaknesses. We leverage our strengths to achieve success, regardless of any weaknesses we may or may not be aware of. Likewise, shortcomings in body function and structure do not necessarily hinder participation. The same holds true for our pediatric clients. Step 3. Follow the same top-down approach to report your findings. Share findings from participation tests first, emphasizing participation strengths before discussing any identified restrictions. When reporting results from the body function and structure level, connect them back to the participation findings. If no participation restrictions are observed, infuse your report with a tone of celebration, acknowledging the student's ability to overcome challenges and engage meaningfully in school. If you want to learn more about assessing participation, click the links in the description below to read our articles on the top tests for participation and ecological assessment. You can also join Apply EBP's expert series on deciding need and amount of school-based OT and PT services, as well as our popular Everything is Measurable courses. If you found this video helpful, Please like, share, and subscribe for more informative content. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.